Okay, in lesson 13, we're going to go back to doing some conversions, but we're actually going to use whole number multiplication to express equivalent measurements. Now, this is going to be a lot easier than when you've done conversions in the past, and this one strategy will work in all conversions. Question A says, it's already done for you, but I want to explain the process. It says 6 weeks equals 6 times 1 week. What we're doing is we're splitting it out at a unit of 1. There we go. So we're taking 6 weeks and we're saying 6 times 1 week. Because in this one here, we're actually wanting to convert weeks to how many days that is. So when we do 6 times 1 week, we bring the 6 down, and we know that there's 7 days in 1 week, so we're going to replace 1 week with 7 days. Now when we multiply it out, we get 6 times 7 is 42 days. So we know 6 weeks is equal to 42 days. On B, it says 7 years. And so we're going years to days. And I know that there's 365 days in 1 year. So 7 years would equal 7 times 1 year. So then I'm going 7 times, I know there's 365 days in 1 year. So the days, I'm going to go 365 times 7. 7 times 5 is 35. 7 times 6 is 42, and 3 is 45. 7 times 3 is 21, and 4 is 25. So I know that there's 2,555 days in 7 years. Now, these have been all conventional or customary units. Now we're going to go to the metric system. And we've done this differently with King Henry doesn't usually drink chocolate milk. You can still use that strategy if it works for you. But now we're going to convert from meters to centimeters. And we know that 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. And this is also right on your reference sheet. So in order to set this up, we're going to go 4.5 times 1 meter. So now we got 4.5 times, there is 100 centimeters in 1 meter. So our problem now is 100 times 4.5. Well, going back to our beginning of the year, we know that multiplying by power of 10 will shift the place value 1 for every multiple of 10. So since it's 100, it's going to shift place value 2 times, and since I'm multiplying by 100, it's going to get larger. So my decimal would move to the right 2 positions. So I would end up with 4.5 meters equals 450 centimeters. For D, it says convert pounds to ounces. Well, I know 1 pound equals 16 ounces. So when I set this up, I'm going to put 12.6 times 1 pound, because 12 pounds equals 12.6 times 1 pound. So now I've got 12.6 times, I'm going to replace 1 pound with 16 ounces. So now the problem is actually 126 times 16. 6 times 6 is 36. 6 times 2 is 12, and 3 is 15. 6 times 1 is 6, and 1 is 7. Now we're going to multiply our 10 out. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 1 is 1. So now we're ending up with 6, 11, 10, 2016, but I've got a decimal in there. So if I would have done my estimate, I would have seen that 12.6 would have been closer to 13, and 16, oh, excuse me, 12.6 would have been closer to 10 than it is to 20, and 16 would have been closer to 20 than it is to 10. So 10 times 20 would have been 200. So using my reasonableness, I know I have to put a decimal plate right here in order to be that a reasonable answer. So it'll be 201.6 ounces. Now let's use the same thing this time. We want to convert from kilograms to grams, and I know that there are 1 kilogram equals 1,000 grams. So I'm going to take this and go 3.09 kilograms equals 3.09 times 1 kilogram. So now I got 3.09 kilograms times, and I'm going to replace 1 kilogram with 1,000 grams. Now if I know if I'm multiplying by 1,000, my place value is going to move 3 positions. So this 3.09 moved in 3 positions is going to go 1, 2, and 3. So my answer will be 3,090 grams. So 3.09 kilograms equals 3,090 grams. On F, it says yards to inches. Well, I know 1 yard equals 36 inches. So now I got 245 yards. So I'm going to split that out at 245 times the unit, which is 1 yard. Now I'm going to replace this 1 yard with 36 inches because that's what I'm wanting to convert to. So now I have 245 times 36. So 245 times 36. 6 times 5 is 30. 6 times 4 is 24, and 3 is 27. 6 times 2 is 12, and 2 is 14. Now I'm going to multiply 30 times 245. So I'm going to put my 0 placeholder. 3 times 5 is 15, carry R1. 3 times 4 is 12, 1 is 13, carry R1. And 3 times 2 is 6, and 1 is 7. Add them up, 0, 12, 8, and 8. So now we can say that 245 yards equals 8,820 inches. Our next part, so after solving, write a statement to express each conversion. The first one is done for you. So let's take a look and see what they've done on the first one. It says convert the number of hours in a day to minutes. So it says 24 hours, and they split out 24 times 1 hour. Then they replaced the 1 hour with 60 minutes, and then they multiplied it out, and I got 1,440 minutes. So basically, they're just restating the answer. One day has 24 hours, which is the same as 1,440 minutes. Okay, so let's look at B. A newborn giraffe weighs 65 kilograms. How much does it weigh in grams? Well, the key here is I know 1 kilogram equals 1,000 grams. So if I take 65 kilograms, which equals 65 times 1 kilogram, now I'm going to replace 1 kilogram with 1,000 grams. So that means 65 times 1,000 is going to be 65,000 grams. So we're going to say 1 kilogram has 1,000 grams, which is the same as 65,000 grams. C. Average height of a female giraffe is 4.6 meters. What is her height in centimeters? Well, here we know 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. So we can take 4.6 meters, which equals 4.6 times 1 meter. We're going to replace this 1 meter with 100 centimeters times 4.6. And we know when we multiply by 100, we're going to shift two place values. So we're going to end up with 460 centimeters. So we can say that 1 meter has 100 centimeters. So 4.6 meters equals 460 centimeters. D. The capacity of a beaker is 0.1 liter. Convert this to milliliters. Okay, well I know 1 liter equals 1,000 milliliters. So having 0.1 liter, which equals 0.1 times 1 liter. Now I'm going to replace this 1 liter with 1,000 milliliters times 0.1. And now we end up with, when we multiply by 1,000, we know it's going to shift three place values. So I have 0.1. I'm going to shift three place values. 1, 2, 3. So now we can see that we'd end up with 100 milliliters. So 1 liter is equal to 1,000 milliliters. So 0.1 liter is equal to 100 milliliters. E. A pig weighs 9.8 pounds. Convert the pigs to ounces, weight to ounces. So I know 1 pound equals 16 ounces. So we have 9.8 pounds equals 9.8 times 1 pound. We're going to replace this unit of measure with 16 ounces because that's what it's equal to, times 9.8. When we multiply this out, we have 98 times 16. 6 times 8 is 48. 9 times 6 is 54, and 4 is 58. Now we're going to multiply the 10 out. 8 and 9. Add them up, we get 8, 16, and 15. So now we're saying 1,568. Now we don't know where to put the decimal. But I do know that when I multiplied, I was multiplying 9.8 times 16. 9.8 is close to 10. 16 is closer to 20. So that's going to be approximately 200. So in order for this to be reasonable, I'd put my decimal here. So we end up with 156.8 ounces. So 1 pound equals 16 ounces. So 9.8 pounds is equal to 156.8 ounces. Okay, our last problem. A marker is 1,300 meters long. What is the length in milliliters? Well, 1 meter equals 1,000 milliliters. So 0.13 meters equals 0.13 times 1 meter. Now we're going to replace that 1 meter with its equal measurement in milliliters times 0.13. Now we're going to multiply it out. So I get 1,000 times 13 hundredths. I know when I multiply by 1,000, it can shift 3 place values. So if I have 0.13, we're shifting 3 place values, 1, 2, 3. So now we know that 0.13 meters equals 130 milliliters. Millimeters. I know I was saying liters there. So 0.13, I'm sorry, 1 meter equals 1,000 millimeters. So 0.13 meter equals 130 millimeters.